Grand jury does not indict Dallas officer's medic after transgender woman's death. A Dallas County grand jury Thursday declined to indict several Dallas police officers and a paramedic who handcuffed and restrained a woman before she became unresponsive and died last year, according to the attorneys involved. Dee Dee Hall died May 26, 2022, in the care of authorities after officers in Dallas Fire Rescue were called to reports of a disturbance in the 12,000 block of Garland Road in Far East Dallas. A nearly 40-minute video released by police 13 days after Hall died showed officials pinning her down, handcuffing her, and taking her to the hospital with a spit hood over her head as she fought and yelled. Spit hood? I can understand what it does based on the name, but I don't think I've ever heard of that or seen that before. And then she died. Her death was ruled an accident. Yeah, this goes on for a while. Dystopian stuff. Yeah, well, what's important to note is that back then, in this specific instance, this is like a police misbehavior, EMT not doing their job. But now, in Florida, there is no legal process for this. This isn't like a grand jury fails to indict. They can just not help you. You understand? This is no longer this isn't like oh, you can defend yourself or whatever, or like oh, here's some like provision that would come up in the subsequent court case. It's just they can let you die. It's great stuff. They sure want you to. I would, by the way, I would love to know all of the cuckolds, the liberals, these limp-wristed beta bitches who have an issue with the term genocide. Can somebody explain to me a non-genocidal they want you dead explanation for this? Please, I desperately want to know from anyone what possible. How do you frame this? Oh, well, technically it doesn't specifically name trans people. You could just refuse medical care to anyone. Like there's going to be a bunch of trans medical companies denying healthcare to cisgender people who need it. Right. We've seen this before. This has been the modus operandi of the Republican Party for a long time when it comes to challenging the Civil Rights Act. They aren't, because the Civil Rights Act is technically race neutral, right? A business can't discriminate against a white or a black or anyone else, protected classes, If you can't be bigoted against a woman, you can't against a man. If you can't against a black person, you can't against a white person. So Republican challenges to the Civil Rights, Act have largely been oh, well, we're not anti-black. Well, this is a racist thing, We're just pro-freedom. And, it's not like we're specifically targeting any group of people with this legislation. It affects everyone, But they know goddamn well what they're doing. This is obviously largely going to be used against trans people. Or just gay people, whatever. If you got a fruity haircut, good luck to you. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If ever there was a good time to get the out of Florida, it would be now. All right? Again, I don't want to, we've litigated this for a while. We deliberate, to what extent should you consider this a great threat to your life? A significant extent. I know moving is hard. I know it's expensive. I know it's not always possible. I know you leave people behind. Look, I'm really sorry, folks, okay? It's like you're like a big fat guy, all right? And you're standing on top of a fire. The fire's all around you. It hurts, And I'm like, hey, you got to get out of that fire. You're going to die. And you're like, but I am heavy and moving my legs hurts. This is a horrible analogy, but I'll keep with it. It's very difficult for me to move my legs, okay? Why would you suggest that? I'm like, well, okay, I know it's difficult, but you're in the fucking fire. I mean it, okay? I would feel bad if tomorrow Ron DeSantis has a bad fever and dreams that Christ is telling him to give up the whole genocide thing, and the day after tomorrow Florida becomes livable again, and then I have people in my audience who are like, oh, I used up my savings to move, and it turns out it was for nothing. Great job, Vosh. But I would rather deal with that than have community members disappear and then later hear about somebody bleeding out in the street and go all right, well, if I had to choose between these two avenues of negative things happening, I'd rather the former than the latter. So get the fuck out of there. Get out. The beaches aren't worth it, okay? They are nice, but if you really want nice beaches, just move down to Mexico. You know, the beaches that make Florida nice continue into Mexico. They don't just stop at the border. The ones in Mexico probably have less trash, too. I've been to Florida beaches. Florida's agriculture and food infrastructure just collapsed. What? Oh, that's right. The Florida anti-immigration. Yes, yes, yes. Guys, did you know that our entire agricultural system relies upon the labor of underpaid, underserved, undocumented immigrants? Workers in South Florida say people aren't showing up to work anymore because of a new bill that targets undocumented workers. Wow. Great. Great. That's so good when people don't show up to work at their jobs farming. That's amazing. Oh yeah, I saw this bit from the Florida grocery store. Looking great over here. Looking real communism or something, maybe. I don't know. Guys, there are literally like 12 million undocumented immigrants. We really need them for our agriculture. And I'm not saying, by the way, we need them because we want them doing the hard work, all right? I want every undocumented immigrant in America getting paid $67 an hour to do nothing, okay? I want them to be reclining on a lounge chair in the middle of a farm while a white man has a palm leaf that they're waving at them, you know. And somehow our agriculture will get sorted out. I don't know, but that's what I want. And a path to citizenship? Yeah, I guess that too. That and the big palm leaf. Yeah, same thing, Canoe. They keep doing it. They keep doing it over and over again. It's like falling down the stairs. Hey, South. Hey, the South. Maybe don't set up your economy in such a way that you're reliant upon labor that won't be around for long, either slaves or undocumented immigrants. If you scroll down to the third or fourth link in the first Twitter thread, it shows how hard the farm labor is. The farm labor performed by these immigrants is more difficult than anything anyone has to do ever anywhere. It is beyond. You know what? Sure.
Georgia, and this is a day in my life. This is my outfit for the day. It's hot outside, but I wear layers to prevent sunburns and a scarf to prevent sweat from dripping into my eyes. I leave for work at 6 a.m. As you can see, it's still dark outside. By the time I get to work at 6:30 a.m., I will work until 6 p.m. for a full 12-hour shift. I pick and pack produce. Today I'm harvesting eggplants and habaneros. I get really tired carrying buckets back and forth to and from the table where I package produce. I frequently have pain in my back, feet, and fingers. July 4th, my daughters are going to the White House with the UFW Foundation to represent me and farm workers across America. My hope is that President Biden hears my family's story and encourages Congress to use every tool possible to fight for a pathway to citizenship for farm workers. In heat waves, pandemics, farm workers are all...
And keep in mind that since this woman is not an undocumented immigrant, I'm guessing, or she probably would not be invited to the White House, things are infinitely worse for the undocumented ones. The ones who have no legal protections get paid less and are told to do the worst jobs.
Always here making sure Americans are fed. We should not live in fear of deportation. Call your senator and share this TikTok to help us get there.
It's really quiet. Oh, sorry. I had my desktop volume way down.
Sí se puede.
It sounds like her kids are citizens, but she isn't, maybe. If she's an undocumented immigrant and it's known that she's an undocumented immigrant, I don't think she would go to Biden. I don't think that would happen. I'm guessing that she's a documented immigrant, and then maybe I don't really know. I don't know. Maybe she isn't. You know, I don't know. Life's complicated. I'm just saying. It's hard out there. That's what I'm saying. It's hard out there, okay? So we're basically still doing slavery? Yeah. Maybe, I don't know what the meta is going to be, okay? So undocumented immigrants can't do the work. Maybe the southern countries are going to redo slavery, except with trans people, instead of the undocumented immigrant substitution they're currently using, you know? See, the trans people are documented citizens of the United States, but then they're told, well, actually, I have a religious objection to providing health care to people who don't do 14 hours of unpaid labor a day. And then all the trans people are like, okay. And then they have to do 14 hours of unpaid labor a day. And then they die because have you seen the average trans person's wrists? No shot. On a farm? You kidding me? There's a reason them transgenders are in the city, okay? You know, you get a rare few and far between I don't know why I'm making this joke. Literally the last trans woman I hooked up with was formerly a farmer. She's based as hell, by the way. Anyway, the point of this story is Florida's bad. That's true, Canoe, to an extent. They kind of carved out a larger exemption there. Yeah, most trans women I know are at minimum plant moms do. Oh, you can't compare being a plant mom to being a farm worker. No. They be getting defensive.